So is there a sequence for this? In other words, if you walk into a clock, you know, tower, you've never been, and the clock's not running, where do you start at?
Probably like I did, you know, look, give the pendulum a little bit of a push and see what happens.
Okay.
And then take a look at this, which this part that comes over and goes down and out, that's called the crutch. The crutch has really got to be tightly connected to the anchor. Otherwise, if there's all that sloppiness up there, it'll just gradually, the impulse it's giving to the pendulum will just be less and less and less, and it'll stop, which I guess is what your experience you were having, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So start there, and then, you know, look and see if anything's like really wrong somehow. You know, like I mean, if this is like disconnected, or if maybe the weights are caught in the box where they're going, in the shaft where they're going down, the weights might have got pinched somehow, like maybe something got pushed into the underneath the weights, or sometimes when it's really humid like this, the weight shaft, if it's an old wooden one and it's a wooden box full of rocks, sometimes they expand and contract and they pinch just enough that it messes, you know, it diminishes the amount of force that's being pulled on because it's getting pinched so tightly.
Right.
Sometimes it's something to do with the striking train, and when this lever rocks and gets stuck for some reason against this cam, if this can't rock down and the cam is trying to push it down, which is what it's trying to do before it strikes, and so the time train is driving the cam, and the cam's pushing on this as hard as it can, and that won't go down, it'll just stop everything, because it just does, you know. Or maybe I also probably, the first thing I would do really would be to walk around and look at the dials from the outside.
Right.
Like the long minute hands sometimes get loose like this, and so they're rocking back and forth instead of being tightly connected to their little driving rod. And when the minute hand's like 3 or 4 feet long and it's rocking back and forth like this, it can bump into one of the numerals. If the numerals are 3-dimensional, which they usually are, and it can hit the side of a numeral and just go like this. And you just can't go past it, and that'll stop everything.
Nothing grinds or breaks, so no gear grinds.
Usually not, no, because because the weight, while it's sufficient to drive it, and there's a little bit of extra, if it runs into something that won't move, it just stops. It'll just stop, which is good. It means it won't break itself to pieces.
Got it. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to know, is that it won't break itself to pieces.
Which is one of the reasons against electrifying them, because sometimes these little electric motors, they're usually are what is used. They go like 1/12 horsepower, goes from 1800 RPM down to maybe like 2 RPM, and then it starts pushing right here. It's geared down so low that it just won't stop. It'll just keep pushing and pushing until something snaps someplace, you know, because it just has an amazing amount of power, you know, and resistance to stopping. Let me go out there and lubricate the time train weight cables a little bit, if I can get to them without risking my life too much.
Yeah, but you know, that's why you got into this.
That's true.
There's always got to be a amount of risk to keep your adrenaline going, you know?
It's got some bad nails sticking out of it.
Yeah, it's like this board right here. This is the one that would scare me.
Well, I appreciate you grabbing that before I got anthrax on top of everything else.
Yeah, it was aiming for you.
All right, so you know, these, watch out, this is bad news. Put this on top of there too, so nobody can stand on it by accident.
Yeah.
This is big old, rusty old.
Yeah, well, those will get you forever.
That's right. Yeah. All right, and then there's one right here. See that one? I think I had this one off. There's the hole right in the top of that square right there. And you put the oil in there, and it fills up that little hollow reservoir in the middle, and it leaks out the top, and then you know you've gotten it in there as well as you can. And it's going to work its way into the center, and there's like a little drip hole right in the middle of this, and it kind of lubricates it a little bit.
On the inside where
you can't
it's going around the axle.
That's exactly right. So
So
there
this
you
is
go.
good for another couple of years then.
Right. Okay.
So David, we're gonna write a book about you.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, have you done a book before?
See, that's not pinching anywhere. It's kind of loose. Like I say, sometimes these things are constructed with only like maybe a half an inch of leeway, and they start
Wow.
pinching.
Well, that's-
or one of the
good.
boards like pops loose and gets in
Yeah.
the way. That one's pretty loose.
They
Somebody
say
bumped against it.
Yeah.
they saved the tightness for the space of the clock
Yeah.
room. They made that as small as they
gotta make it
could.
A little bit bigger. I know it's frequently like that. It's one that I do work on these things all the time. Like one in Lexington, it's a clock almost like this, a little bit like maybe 5 years newer than this one. But anyway, where you want to wind it, just like you almost can't do it. The wall's right here, the thing's right there.
Really?
When you go like this, your knuckles almost hit the far wall.
Why do you think
did
they?
make it another-
Why do you think? Because I mean, there is more space here.
Yeah, afterthought.
Yeah, well, they could have.
I'm just looking
Is
at
it-
this.
Is it just that?
Oh, there's another one.
Is it that they were just used to being as efficient as possible with space and
I don't know for
materials?
sure.
And
I mean, maybe sometimes the clocks, the tower clocks went in after the building was totally constructed, and it's like maybe 10 years later somebody gave them $500 and they bought a tower clock, so they had to work with the room they
I have to
had.
find some place to put it.
right. Well, this building is from 1804,
Yeah, this
and
clock
the
is
clock is, I think you said
That sounds about
1853
right.
or something
Yeah.
like that, or
Yeah, so it came along, 50 years later, and they had to put it in here. They had plenty of room, and then they left these lovely like open floor plans here. So if anybody wanted to get out there and check it out, they had to.
Good luck. Just a young guy.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah.
Right. You have to have a minimum commitment to.
So there's nothing to be oil on these spaces then.
Well, that's a good point, actually. I might as well sort of drop on that bit because there are pieces. See how I'll do a brief explanation.
Okay.
With a minimal amount of history thrown in, and
We'll take
all
the
right,
maximum.
So this is being driven by the clock in there. It's going around at the speed of a minute hand, and right there it has a gear on it. But if you forget about that for a second, this continues all the way out to the outside and is driving the minute hand. And so, but along the way, like right here, it's got to get a gear reduction so it can drive the hour hand. So it has to go. The hour hand goes 1/12 as fast as a minute hand, and that's what this, and this are all about. So, and the only thing you can really get to is this tube right here. It's a cast iron tube. That is the hour hand tube, and it sits in these cast iron bushings, and it's cast iron, and they dry out. There's a little oil filler hole right in the top, right there. Whether or not it's going through, we don't know, but we're going to wiggle it around with it. See? If you can get it to go in and out like that, even if it's only about a 32nd of an inch,
That's
what
good.
that's what it's supposed to do. You can also see that this
It's loose.
is loose.
You want that,
Didn't seem like it was,
where is it? Do you know where you left it?
Oh,
well, that's it.
Yeah, let me see. You're looking for that,
Vice grip, but
yeah,
let me just
small
see what
wrist,
it said.
yeah.
Wow.
Is it in your bag, you think? Or near it?
Maybe it's in my pocket. I don't know.
Oh, in your pocket? Oh, okay.
Problem with this is that, let's see,
Your hand's right there. Where you tear your rotator cuff or muscle?
it's I don't know. It's right here and right down into my shoulder. So I'm not sure. See, this
Literally a pain in the neck.
it really hurts. Yeah. Kind of goes away, then it comes back, and I'm trying to be gentle with it as far as I'm able to. Let's see here. See out here, I remember I put in washers out here and a big round-headed machine screw, so to pull, because the wood in this face was so rotten that the screw was just pulling in. So what I need, see how loose that is? That one over there. There's loose. That one's tight. There's also an issue with if I pull that down like that. All right. Let me see, I'll try. Only way to do it now is since I can't really get a hold of the outside of it because of the.
Do you need a?
Can you hand me that little bag of mine, please?
Sure.
Should be another vice grip in there. There's a way to do this thing. Even if it's gonna mar up a little.
So is the outside tube the hour? Is that conveying the hour energy, and the inside is the minute?
Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Inside's the
You
minute.
want to pass this up?
Let's see. Let's see if I got another wrench in here. I think I do. Oh, there it is. All right, let's see if we can grab a hold of the threads and then grab a hold of the nut and hold the thread still and tighten the nut down. We'll try that.
Want me to hold on to
Is
this?
there anything we can do?
That shouldn't really be an issue.
Okay.
If it is, I'll let you know. See if I can get a hold of that really tight. And then get a hold of this. Maybe we'll tighten the nut up. Actually, I might have a better wrench for that. A small little adjustable wrench.